Good evening, everyone. It is February 4th, 2025. It is 8:01 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Stephen Nikala, Chairman of the Libertarian National Committee, and we'll be calling this executive committee to order. Ms. Harlos, whenever you'd like to start with roll call, please.
Certainly. Just give me 1 second. I've been doing a little bit of it informally, I believe. So everyone on the executive committee is here except for Mr. Redpath and Mr. Watkins. And for the LNC, I saw Mr. Bust. Is Mr. Vincent here? Mr. Dassing? Mr. Garcia? Mr. Lamb? I saw Ms. Hayes. I've got her. Mr. McGee, no. Mr. Nana, Mr. Bracco. If I call your name and you're here, let me know. Mr. Chatterton, Mr. Hirsch, Mr. Johnson. Did I miss? Oh, Greg's there. Okay, I see you. Mr. Johnson is not here. Mr. Thompson, Mr. Weir. Okay, so Mr. Chair, again, out of the executive committee, everyone's here except for Mr. Redpath, and I see Mr. Weir's coming in now, and Mr. Watkins, and then on the LNC, who we have present is Mr. Bost. That's executive committee member, sorry, Ms. Hayes, Mr. Hirsch, Mr. Malagon, and Mr. Weir. Is there any LNC members that I missed? All righty.
All right, excellent. So I believe we only have one item on the agenda, which is the approval of Sunday's meeting minutes. And then we have an item for any other manners. I don't believe we have anything else to discuss except that I did already talk to Hannah about the transitioning process as well as Kathy. I'm going to be heading up to Miami tomorrow for the bank transfer for PNC and Truist. They just need us to supply the minutes so we can get everything transferred over, and everything else is pretty smooth so far. So this is the only part of the process that we need to have so we can get it done by tomorrow. So is
Well,
there,
good luck, and I will be very surprised if you get that done tomorrow, but I will be very happy as well.
we'll see. If not tomorrow, maybe the next day. So yeah, I will. We'll see
Anytime
how-
this week would be great.
Exactly. So I'll take it.
Mr. Redpath asked me to inquire while we're in this entire process, which of course it would be a whole other process of getting this set of minutes required, but I have a potential solution for that. If we wanted to do this now, we could do it at a later date. He had inquired whether we wanted Ms. Kennedy on the account.
On the bank accounts,
Yes.
she expressed to me that she doesn't want to be on anything
Okay.
unless
Okay.
she has to be.
He wanted me to, and he wanted me to inquire. And
Now, the banker did say that they typically recommend 3 signers. So I don't know what the committee's thoughts are on that, but chair and treasurer are pretty standard.
So I believe that the LNC can designate appropriate staff for LNC. To do so, we would have to, vote if it's somebody else besides you. But I think, I'm all for 3 people. If you have another victim who's not me.
Dang it, now I'm not sure who I'm going to pick. No,
I'm on the audit committee. It can't be me.
No, I know. Yeah, well, if there's somebody that you guys think of, I mean, I'm cool with me and the treasurer for now, and really it's a posterity thing. So if something changes in the future, who is going to be, helping with that transfer?
shouldn't it be the vice chair, since we're not looking to off
I was
you
thinking, about that.
or
Yeah.
do anything to you, but if we do decide to hire a hitman and
Try to make me a Boeing whistleblower.
yeah, if Mr. Dar, if you know something about Hillary and Mr. Dar all of a suddenly has to auto ascend, that it will be smooth. It just seems logical to have the vice chair.
Mr. Malagon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I know I'm not a part of this committee. I would just recommend that I was going to say the vice chair as well, simply because other people just wouldn't make sense. There is usually turnover as far as region reps are concerned. At large is like officers are less likely to resign, just kind of ironic since we just had one resign. But that's typical, well, two resign technically, but that's typically not the case. So that it would make the most sense to have, I think, chair, vice chair, and then in the event that you had to step away or something happened, Wendy's caught on fire and you needed to attend to that. And so Mr. Dar could step in and then take over seamlessly without having to go through this whole transition again. That would be my suggestion.
You say that, but it has happened before.
Yep.
I'm aware.
Paul, would you be down for that?
That should work. I'm not sure if I have any of those branches nearby though. If that's a bank card thing, I can sign separately from there.
Okay.
I'll
Now,
otherwise.
you might not have to show up. I know for PNC, he said he's going to try to do it digital. And then I'm friends. We actually bank with Truist, so I know the branch manager for Truist down here. It's like 500 feet from my house, so I can talk to him and see if there's a way we can just get you signed up and not have to get you to a bank. I got to drive 4 hours north because I live in the middle of the ocean, and sometimes I'm reminded of it. So we don't have PNC down here, but okay, cool. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe that would require a vote of the board, though, to approve Mr. Dar being on the account. Would that be correct?
That's the way we've handled it in the past, and I think that's the safest way to handle
I would
it.
concur. I think that's fair. Okay.
If there's no emergency, I would recommend a full all-in-C vote. Because executive committee is really supposed to be for things that we have to do, like right now, or things that are specifically delegated to it in the policy manual.
Well, if I may, Mr. Chair, I would argue, I mean, what constitutes an emergency, right? But if you're going to go and take care of this tomorrow, assuming because everyone has to be on the same page for this, it's really hard.
Right.
The problem is that getting everyone together at these respective branches at the same time. I've had to deal with it here in California. So, if Mr. Dar is available tomorrow at that time, I don't see why it would be a problem. I can't imagine this would be controversial, but that's not my call. If you want to go back to Miami, and God, that just sounds awful to say out loud. If you want to go back to Miami and not to a specific team building exercise like establishment, then perhaps you might want to, maybe do it now, if not wait. But just a
So you're
thought.
saying, so you're saying we all need to be there in Miami for this.
Pretty
Team.
much.
Yeah, no, let's run it through let me just take care of it tomorrow and I'll run it through the full board. I don't think it'll be a problem, but I think it's appropriate since it is dealing with a signatory on the bank. Just in case somebody isn't comfortable with it. I don't think anybody would be, but just that everybody's bought into it, and I think we'll get you on. But yeah, I think 3 signatures in each account sounds good to me. Let's see. Other than that, Stripe is being taken care of. I'm already on paychecks. There's a couple other things, but obviously the bank accounts are the big ones. And then as far as transitioning stuff goes, we're pretty much well on our way in all regards. So the only thing we really need the minutes for is the bank statements or the bank accounts rather, and then we should be good to go. So any discussion on the minutes? All right, hearing none. Is there any objection to the minutes as presented? Going once, going twice, 3 times, minutes pass. So I think that's it.
I'll email you a copy that has final on it
Okay.
right after this meeting, because the last copy said draft 2. So I'll finalize it and send that over to you.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Karen Ann. Thank you, everybody, for being on. That was quick. I don't think there's anything else to cover. So we'll Ben, you got your hand up?
Yeah, hey Steve. I'm not sure if this is something that we could do like with the social media team or whatever, but
Sure.
I think it'd be good to see our accounts come out as quickly as possible against what Trump just said about how he wants to take over Gaza.
Yeah, I just saw that. We have that resolution on Israel. So I'm gonna talk to Brian McWilliams tomorrow and see if there's something we can put out on that. Because obviously it's in the news cycle and it's pretty big. Adrian, Mr. Maligan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just reminded that if there was a decision that was made today, so if Mr. Dar were available tomorrow to get everyone on at once, it could just be ratified later by the LNC. So it would still go through the process, it could get through it, and then it could just be ratified after the fact, which I don't believe would be a problem. But I think a quick email or something to everyone just saying, are we good with this? And then we'll officially ratify it after the fact would suffice as well, just so that we have all three people on at the same time.
I think that's a good game plan. Yeah, I'll send an email after this.
What time is it again tomorrow?
I'm gonna call the banker in the morning. I'm actually gonna submit this to him tonight, and I'm gonna double check and make sure that everything is kosher. So
Is this just to the Truist account?
this is for PNC. Truist is a different process.
Okay.
Bill had to send an email out to them. I'm gonna also deal with that too. So the process.
Okay.
So, yeah, it might be a different. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow for Truist or not, Paul. Kathy.
Stephen,
Yeah.
could you, excuse me, be sure you get on both. There's 2 accounts at each bank.
Understood.
Oh, excuse me. Right, the PNC, there is our operating account, the payroll comes out of. Excuse me, and then also a money market account that the bond from the Michigan lawsuit was in, which may, I don't know the status of that. That may be in process of being released. And at Truist, we have our operating account and we have the account that we administer, the 90% account for the Kennedy Victory Fund.
Gotcha. Okay.
So just be sure they get you on both, all of them.
Gotcha. Okay. And I'll also double check on debit cards and things like that and see what's floating out there.
I would confirm with both banks if there are any credit cards or debit cards and who has them, and terminate any that are unaccounted for. Or not current.
I'll also check with Hannah to see if we have any checks out there as well. I know when we transitioned from Florida, that was also a big thing, is to count the checks and see what check ranges we have out there. We need to make sure we know where we're going. So I'll double check with both those things.
I'm not worried, just for the record, that anybody has charged anything on the credit card unauthorized. Hannah gets notifications whenever anything comes through a credit card charge. So we would already know if there was an issue, but we just, as good practice, to just, we don't have it to cut up. So just cancel it.
Good housekeeping.
It seemed that there was an implied motion to add Paul Dar to the PNC account. Do you want to formalize that? And then we're going to have it ratified. We would have to vote for it and then ask for ratification from the LNC.
So why don't I will make a motion to add Paul Dar as a signatory to both the PNC and Truist bank accounts.
Okay.
Second.
Right. Any objection? All right, Mr. Chatterton.
If I can give you guys a suggestion from my experience in Michigan, I think banks usually want to have specific account numbers, so you could put some provision in that to authorize the secretary or whoever appropriate to add those things to any note for if these are to go to the bank for record of, authorization or something like that. To be specific about the bank accounts and whatever forms you got to communicate to the bank in general is what I'm suggesting, but not in minutes or whatever, maybe not directly applicable, but I just wanted to share that.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mr. Chattern. All right, well, it looks like that motion is good to go. It passed. Any other housekeeping stuff or anything else relevant you can think of? Anybody?
I hope not. It looks like the LNC is quite literally killing Miss Yanuskavich, so we should probably wrap this up.
I'm fine. I
can't
choked
even
on an
take credit.
M&M.
I'm going to be
You
honest.
must know.
I can't take credit for that joke. That's not mine, but if I can speak, I will take credit for it.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Any second?
Second.
You don't need a second on small committee, FYI.
Oh, that's right. All right, well, I don't think there's any objections, so I will talk to you guys soon. Paul will be in touch, and
Sure
I
thing.
hope we'll get that switched over tomorrow.
Good luck
And-
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Mr. Nikela, you had said you wanted to talk with